Hi everybody, welcome back to BoomX Beauty Beat. As the title says, I do have a big announcement today. I'm doing something really out there, really dangerous and crazy. I am going to be creating 50 looks with 50 different brand stories in 50-ish days leading up to my 50th birthday, which is October 26th. We've got just a little over 50 days, and I'm leaving myself a few days cushion in there in case I'm sick or something goes wrong. But I'm trying to get the 50 looks in within that little time period. And the reason I'm doing this and to explain which story we're going to be starting with is because I am a person that has to challenge myself. I have to keep pushing myself, otherwise I just feel stagnant and I feel overwhelmed by life sometimes. And many of you don't know too much about what's been going on, but over the last 4 or 5 years I got injured in a work incident and took a really long 4 to 5 year journey to come back to even be able to speak. I was bedridden a lot of the time, and I'm one of those people that was just always on the go. I've done photography and makeup for many years. I injured my back and I could not lift, I couldn't move. I fell into just a horrendous depression, and really this is part of the journey of trying to fight my way back. And if any of you have ever experienced anything similar, I feel so sorry for you going through that. But boy, when you try to regain yourself, you have to push yourself back into life, because it just doesn't happen for you. You have to make it happen. So this journey is, I just want to say, like, I've been in a complete, let's call it a makeup coma. I would say more closer to 10 years, because when the recession happened in 2009, 2010, really struggled to keep our business going, because nobody was buying a lot of extra things. No one was buying photo packages, glamour packages, back in the day when the whole market was collapsing and things like that. So we kind of lost our shirt a little bit, and for about the next 4 to 5 years struggled to survive, struggled to get it back. And then I just ended up taking a job and then really injuring myself on the job and having a complete and total meltdown. My love for makeup started so early. I started when I was a kid. I started when I was, I don't know, early as I can remember. I was 6 or 7 years old, wanting to do my mom's hair and just constantly playing in her makeup. And all through my teens, it was just, I loved getting ready for hours on end. I'm sure some of you can relate to this. And then when I turned 18, I went to makeup school and did that and started into fashion, and it was fast-paced and fun and phenomenal. But it's an ever-changing industry, and back when which is over 30 years ago, back when I started, there was just very few makeup lines. There was a few grandma lines in the department stores. There was MAC. There was a few salon lines that were a bit funkier. It was nothing like the world that we're in now. I never really dove into that world, the Sephora world, now we've got Cult Beauty, Beauty Bay. There's so many different brands out there that I came back out of this coma feeling pretty overwhelmed and scared, because I felt out of touch, and I knew I couldn't physically do makeup artistry anymore, but I really wanted to keep that passion alive, that burning passion where the creativity of doing photo shoots to create different looks and all of that. I feel like I'm starting to cry. I'll tell you who pulled me out of it was just laying in my bed watching Tati Westbrook and her love for makeup And I knew somehow, some way I had to find my way back to myself. I knew I couldn't do makeup anymore, but because of YouTube, it allowed me to think of a way. And I'm turning 50, and it's kind of a weird, I'm sort of excited about it in a way, because when I used to do photo shoots on women that were 50 plus, they had this sense of self and confidence, and they've been through a lot already, and you could see it in their eyes. You could see it, even though they, they might have had lines. I thought they were quite beautiful, and the depth of their face was beautiful to me. And I'm obviously crying through this thing because, fighting your way back into life again this is going to be a real challenge for me. And if any of you have gone through this or are going through something, using something like makeup or creativity is an outlet to find the beauty in things and to gain. It's not about external and all of that. It's really about the magic that happens when you see and feel something beautiful, whether it's a sunset or a beautiful color, a beautiful texture, or it engages your senses. It does something. So it's not about, this narcissistic self-indulgent thing. It's about reaching deep inside and finding that. And I encourage you, if you're feeling low, even if you play a little bit, you might get some of that pleasure out of makeup and beauty and photography like I do, and might help you. So in this adventure that I'm going to be trying to take, I hope I succeed. I'm going to do everything I can to succeed, to get to this kind of big moment in time for me, which is that 50-year-old birthday. It's just a marker where I've been through what I've been through in my life, and all of the roller coaster rides that I've been through, and which leads me to wanting to talk about Tati Westbrook. I knew nothing about watching YouTube gurus. I knew nothing about the hundreds of lines that are out there. Even though I was a makeup artist, I pretty much stuck to a few and didn't really venture out. I wasn't really a big consumer, except for buying my big professional kits and things like that. I didn't really buy a lot of little products, and it didn't really interest me that much. But I now can see the beauty in some of it. Some of it is really push marketing, but some of it I can see when there's a certain product or something that can help invoke a good feeling in you. I can see the benefit in it. Just being mindful that it can become addicting, and it can become overwhelming, because there's so many launches and there's so many different products out there. But I am really curious, being that I'm just waking up from this coma, to see what's been created while I've been down for a decade in this world of makeup artistry. I didn't have this when I was of the age, like young teenager and so forth, where all of those lines and unique products were out. So I want to enjoy the process and take a little bit of each line and create a story and a look with it. And I used to love creating looks and photography and concepts, and now it's just me, and I don't have a whole bunch of production ability. I don't have any retouching ability. I'm going to do the best I can to create different things every day for you to see, and maybe it'll inspire you to try a different look on yourself, because we get so stuck, even me, I get so stuck in the same looks all the time. And when you're pushed to do it something different every day, then you're going to inevitably try different things, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I also really want to learn so much more about all these products, and you know, what the fascination is with some of them, but I'm coming into this green, coming into it practically virginal. So I did buy a few things to start with, and I've got a lot more coming over the next month. You know, with COVID and everything, shipping can be a little bit questionable. But back to Tati, I want to not go on too much. So when I started watching Tati, you know, her sense of humor, her energy, her clear love for makeup and love for anything beauty and anything that made her feel good really rubbed off on me. And I thought, you know, if I ever get out of this bed, if I ever am able to get up and talk again, I couldn't even form words. I'm going to maybe do something again with makeup, but I knew physically I couldn't do makeup again. So she's my inspiration to start this off, and I have to give her kudos. She's been through the ringer and back, and I'm not saying she isn't to blame for some things. Everybody makes mistakes in life. I just know that the good in her and the inspiration that she gave me so much more important, because if one day she ever gets to see this, I just want to tell her thank you for helping pull me out of my coma and give me a chance to try something creative again. And even though influencers on YouTube can be, you know, something that seems superficial, for some of us it means a lot, and it's important that when we're lost and we're just needing some comfort and a friendly voice every day or twice a week when she uploaded. So I'm going to be taking a look at her journey and hopefully stop crying so I can do my makeup. And I'll be using her palette, the Tati Neutrals, and trying to create a Tati inspired look. And I really hope I can get in a little better frame of mind, but it took me back to the memories of just being so stuck in bed all the time, and how much makeup inspires me and how much creativity inspires, and I'm sure it can for you too. So even if you've never done makeup before, it can pick you up, and it certainly has me. So let's take a look at Tati's journey, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm pulling myself together. All right, we're gonna do, as you can see, I've already kind of got my basic day, whatever, makeup on. This is all Tati eyeshadow, mind you, and I'm just gonna pull up. Now this palette's been well loved and well used the only 2 palettes I currently have, and you guys will see me grow my collection as I'm coming out of my coma, is the Tati Beauty neutrals and my little MAC palette, and that's all I have right now. Lots more coming in the mail, so we're going to be obviously doing 50 different brands. So this adventure, you're going to be able to try makeup with me and learn about the brands. Each brand I'm going to be working with, I will do a makeup look with the whatever the products I have. I'm not obviously going to get a full face for every brand, but I will do some research on each line so that you get a little understanding about the line, and that will be part of each video. And I think that's important because it really bugs me to hear all these different names coming at me and I don't know who they are, what they stand for, what they're about, maybe what their history is, who the owners are, is it big, is it small, I don't know what they are, where to buy it. So these are kind of some of the things I want to put into the videos that you don't really see many people doing, if anybody. I haven't seen anybody yet. I'm sure there's people out there, but if you know of anybody, comment below and let me know who they are. But like I said, we're starting with Tati, and so Tati has, as you guys have seen, she's had quite a history as an influencer on YouTube. She had over 10 million subscribers. She's just under that now at about 9.63 million. Yes, she's had over 1 billion views overall. That's just insane to me that, you know, 1 billion plus people have watched her videos. She did start a vitamin line called Halo, and in 2018 I believe, and that's all still running. I'm hoping to see more from Tati. I know she's going through stuff right now, and hopefully she's creating some more products. I will definitely purchase more of her products, but this is well used and loved. As you can see, there's fingerprints all over this. That's the only thing about this palette, is it does not take finger marks well, and when you're doing makeup I get messy with it. So here's her palette. It's called the Textured Neutrals, I believe, and it's got a really, if you've never seen this before, it's got a really interesting color story. So basically it works in lines this way, but you can also crisscross and make color stories any way that you want. Up top is this really neat pressed shimmer or sparkle. These are, the top line here is a bit more shimmery. This has just a little bit of shimmer, and this on the bottom is matte. And I've played with all the colors and I kind of have a good feel for all the colors. But because it's Tati, I feel it only fitting that we just kind of bump up this look and get it going, make it a little more glam, and then do a little photo shoot. I'll try to change my hair to make it a little more Tati-ized as well. We'll see how that goes with my big crazy curly mop of hair. So why don't we start by just bumping up the eyebrows a notch. One thing good about this palette is if you don't have anything for eyebrow, you can use Ritual, this brown color down here, and mix it in with Soothe, and you can make yourself a really pretty eyebrow color if you've got nothing else. You need an angled brush, would be your best bet, something like this. Let me put my hand up so it focuses. A brush like this, and you can see it's fairly thin, and this brush is from Tarte. There's lots of good brushes out there. This just happens to be one that I got. So to bump up your brows, I'm taking a little bit of Soothe, taking a little of these two colors, and I'm just going to intensify my brow a little bit, taking a little bit of water onto the brush and putting it on, and I'm just going to make a paste out of it, kind of touch it onto my hand so it's not too wet, not too dry. Hopefully I'm in a good angle here. Let's see how this goes. And I'm just going to take it and intensify the tone a little bit and warm up my eyebrows a little bit. And they're already filled in, so all I'm doing is just giving it a little more strength. So it's trickier than it looks to do and to look. I'm going to just grab a little handheld mirror so I can see sort of what I'm doing closer. Okay. I'm giving myself just a little more determined arch, just for glamour sake, and you guys can kind of see the difference. It's just a slight intensifying, okay? So it's great for evening. I'm going to do the other brow and be right back. Okay, so eyeshadow works in layers, and one thing I love is when I already have a look on, it makes it so much easier for me to create a more intensified look, because I've already got some layers put down, and all I have to do is go on top of that and build upon it, and it just gets smoother and smoother the more I build. So working your eyeshadow in layers is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world to do. So what we'll do is create a little bit of color play. I'm wearing this kind of orangey color, so we'll stay in that color family. So I'm just going to take a little bit of, in the story palette, a little bit of this more shimmery color. Yep. And put some on my lid just to create a little color interest, because it's kind of blasé right now. And you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm just patting it in, touching it onto my hand to press it into the brush a little bit, because it helps with falling debris. If you do have nearby a sponge or something like that, if you do get any falling debris, if everything's dry on your face, you can just go like that and it should wipe it away, no problem. So I don't want to go too high on my lid. I'm going to try intensifying this a little bit by putting a little bit of wet onto my finger and pressing a bit of that on the lid. It's because I want that color to pop a little bit, and with shimmers, oftentimes pressing it on, I've got fluffs everywhere, pressing it on will really help get a little more color payoff. So you can see that popping out a little more. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's just put a little bit everywhere. And then I'll take a little bit of wet finger and press on to intensify a bit of that color. Okay, so then I want to go away from the brown now, and I'm going to get into this kind of dark gray color. It's called Sequin, if you can see it here. And see if I can build up a little bit of sort of depth and smolderiness. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush and go into the crease. This trick is take a little bit of color and then take the rest on your hand and double off the excess, and that way you don't keep spreading it everywhere. Okay, so I'm just focusing it in my focal point area right here, where this little triangle kind of allows me to show off whatever crease that I don't have, because I have got almond shape eyes, so I have really little depth in my makeup. So keep an eye out for falling debris, because that can happen. It's not terrible with this makeup, but there's a little bit. So by this point I'm wiping off all the excess, because I've got plenty of eyeshadow on here, and I'm spreading that about. I always like to keep a sponge available when you're working with darker colors, and you can clean up your edges a little. Now, blendability for this eyeshadow is good. It's not phenomenal, but it's good. I think it's a good starting palette for somebody who has a little bit of experience with makeup and knows how to blend a little, but you have to be careful if you don't have any experience and you're working in these darker colors, because you can get a little bit stopped up with how much color payoff there is. In the darker colors, you could get a little lost in it. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the light tone here in this, and maybe it's called Aura. Maybe I'll take the second one. It's like a bone color, and just press that on. Press it onto my bone area here, just to give it a little more brightness. Then I'm going to go back over with a softer tone, Soothe, where it's this brown color here, and soften it down just a little bit and warm it up. So I'm taking that, it takes that gray and just sort of warms it a little bit so it doesn't look too Elvira-ish. Now one thing with Tati is she sure brings her eyeshadow up really high. I mean, you can do that. It doesn't suit everybody, but she can wear a lot of different things. Okay, I'm going to continue with this eye, and then I can go to the other eye and come back, so you guys don't have to watch too much blending. So again, I'm taking that same angle brush that I had for my eyebrows, wetting it, and using the black now for my eyeliner, so that you can see that one palette can give you just a million different options for what you can use for product. You can have eyeliner out of it, eyebrows out of it, you can have day look, evening look, anything. So it's definitely a worthwhile palette to get. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just creating a soft wing look, and I'm getting it to lift at the end a bit, but I'm keeping sort of my almond shape. I'm not reshaping too much. And then I'm gonna just put a little bit near my lash line for drama. And again, with this brush, you can go right close to your lash line pretty easily because it's so tight. But I don't want it to be too harsh of just a stop line under there. So I'm going to go back under with that Soothe color, which is this one here. And soften the line by taking it dry and dragging it. I mean, my brush has just a little bit of moisture left over, which is perfect. Dragging it slightly downward so that I can kind of create a bit of a gradient of the eyeliner. It goes deepest near the lash line and then sort of softens down and warms it. It's a neat little trick. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit of black on my waterline for intensity. You can go on the inner upper waterline as well. I'm going to focus mine just on the outer corner, on the upper, just so I can give the almond shape a little bit of oomph. And we cannot forget the sparkle. So let's do a little bit of sparkle. I think I want to go for something interesting. Let's go for something a little interesting. Let's go for this one here. It's called Story in that same line, and it is kind of a creamy pressed sparkle, and we'll put that on the lid so we can give it some pop. This stuff is wild, you guys. So I'm just going to take my finger and press it on. Can see it going on. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're just staying home and cooking. You start glamming yourself up and it cheers you up. It fills your soul and it makes you happy, and that's all that matters. So you might have a couple little sparkles fall, but nothing major. You can press out if you've gone a little higher than you want to and just sort of meld it all together. You might get the odd sparkle on the lid. That's no big deal. And you may want to put just a little touch of light on the inner. Lift it up, so it's a little pop of. She loves doing this as well in her videos. A little reflection in the tear area. Okay, so that last color I used was this little shimmery bone color. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, put some lashes on, bump up my blush and strengthen my lipstick up, do my hair, and come back and wrap up with you guys. Okay guys, I know I don't look like Tati at all, but it is a Tati inspired look using her beautiful palette. She always puts this little knot on the top of her head, and she always has these little dark long hair pieces hanging down, so I just went for that since straightening my whole hair would have taken about 4 hours. I just straightened the front. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you come along board with me. Just try to see if you can do different looks as many of these days as you can. I really hope to see you again soon, Tati. I know that you're going through a lot, and you know there's so many of us out here that support you, and everybody makes mistakes in life. Whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, you've helped a lot of people, and that's really all that matters. And I hope to see more of your makeup, and I encourage you guys, if you want to try a nice neutral palette, this is a great one to go purchase, and well worth the money. This thing will last me forever. And my weird little straight pieces of hair. Okay, so this is today's look with today's brand, Tati Beauty. Thanks for joining, and see you very, very soon. Bye.